All right, this is your final review, numbers 11, 12, and 13. It's my favorite section, guys. The Pythagorean theorem. We are finding the missing length of each side, and our triangle is not drawn to scale, but it is a right triangle, which means we can use the greatest theorem in all the land. It is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Now remember, when you use this one, c is your hypotenuse, which is across from your right angle to your longest side, usually your slanty side. This one here is C. The other two don't really matter. One could be A, one could be B. You can flip-flop it. You'll get the same answer either way. This one will be A in my case, and this one will be B. We are going to go ahead and plug in our numbers. So I know A is 8, so I have 8 squared plus B squared, which is 6 squared, all equals C squared, and we are looking for C. If I square 8, I get 64. Plus 6 squared, which is 36, and all of that equals c squared. When I add those together, I get 100 equals c squared. And my last step is to take the square root to get rid of my squared, and I find that c equals 10. And that's your final answer. That is my missing length. Again, you're just using your Pythagorean theorem. As long as you figure out which one is c, the other two should be good to go. Alright, for number 12, it says find the length of the missing side. Leave your answer in the simplest radical form. This is a fancy way of saying leave yourself a square root. So this wants a square root as our answer. It does not want us to find a decimal. Again, we're using our same formula, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. We have to figure out which one is c. Remember, c is your slanty one, the one across from your right angle. It's the longest, so this guy's going to be c. And then we'll label our other two. One's going to be a, one's going to be b. Those two you can flip-flop if you want. Doesn't really matter. Once we have everything labeled, we're going to plug it in. So a is 10, so I have 10 squared plus b squared equals 13 squared. When I simplify that, I get 100 plus b squared equals 169. And then we need to move our 100 to the other side, so we're going to subtract 100 from both sides. And when I do that, I get b squared equals 69. We need to take the square root to get b by itself. When I do that, I get b equals the square root of 69, which is going to be my answer. Again, we're leaving it in simplest radical form, so we're not taking that square root. And this is going to be our answer. If you happen to take the square root, or let's say like your answer, the answer given looks something like 3 square root 2, and you're like, oh man, I have the square root of 18 and that doesn't match any of my options. These two are actually the same. But if you have that issue and you have this answer and you can't find that one, or you don't know how to switch it to the other one, go ahead and type your square root into your calculator. Type your options here into your calculator. You're really just looking for the one that matches. If you use a decimal, that's cool. Just circle the radical that's the same decimal that you found. The last one says a triangle has sides of length 27, 79, and 84. Is it a right triangle? Well, we know it's a right triangle if a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And we have three numbers, 27, 79, and 84. We need to label them A, B, and C. C has to be your biggest side. If C is listed first, the biggest number, that's C. If the biggest number is in the middle, that's C. That's awesome. In our case, it's a third one. So this is going to be C. The other two are A and B. Again, you could flip-flop them if you want. A and B do not matter, but C needs to be your biggest number. We're going to plug it in. So I have 27 squared plus 79 squared equals 84 squared. We're going to start by squaring 27, and when I do that, I get 729 plus 79 squared is 6,241, and we want that to equal 84 squared, which is 7,056. We're going to simplify, so I'm going to do 729 plus 6241, and I get 6,970 equals 7,056. That's a problem because those two things do not equal to each other. They don't work. So our answer is going to be no. They are not equal to each other. So we can cross out our two yeses. We're left with two options for no. In this case, they're literally the exact same option. So I guess your answer could be B or it could be D. You got two choices. Maybe select them both. But I would take either. If this is on your final and they have two of the same options, I would give you either one. But that is your answer for 13.